He's a really good clapper.
Yeah, but where's the take 1 and take 2 go?
Oh no, we just like no editing.
Because take 3 from the start is...
Oh, take 3 because it's the third episode.
Oh, okay.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Club Hideout. This is our third episode, and we have our guest Yana here today.
Hi, guys.
Do you mind giving us a little introduction about yourself?
When you say give an introduction, I'm
Just like a
already
short
okay, you need to get my height, my parameters and everything, because that's my introduction thing.
Yes.
But so my name is Yana. I'm Ukrainian-Canadian, mostly lived my life in Ukraine until I turned 18. And right now I'm pursuing a career of model, actor, and whatever I can do as an entertainer in Korea.
That's pretty cool. That's a wild introduction. Couldn't have been any better. But did you try modeling or acting job before you came to Korea? Or
Yeah, for sure. I've been doing modeling for about maybe 5 years on and off. And then acting, I did a lot of acting when I was in high school and my university for maybe another 5 years.
Did you major in acting, or is it like a...
No. It was just a club. And
okay.
Yeah.
Was that a calling? Was there a reason why were you drawn into it, that you kind of started it?
So I started it out as a singer, and I loved the stage.
Okay.
That
makes
was
sense.
the reason behind it. And for the modeling, every young girl at some point dreams to be a model, because
That is
model
true.
princess or something, it's just it's so romanticized.
Right. So your first background was actually studying music, and that's how you lead into acting. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Was there an influence by maybe by a parent or...
I mean, both of my parents are stage people. My mom was professional gymnast dancer before she went to the college, and she participated in some also clubs, groups. And my dad, he never studied anything, but he just learned it by himself, how to play the guitar, how to sing, and he wrote a bunch of songs.
Damn, that's cool.
And that's basically how my parents met. They were in the same university, but it is a huge Seoul National University.
Yeah.
But they were in the same acting, comic kind of club. And my dad was mostly acting and singing. My mom was mostly dancing. And that's how their story started.
Yeah, definitely your influence. Music, dancing, acting. Yeah.
The reason of me being alive,
Yeah,
basically.
the whole package. You could definitely see the influence. Do you find any similarities or differences when you tried modeling or acting when you were in the Ukraine or in Canada? Any differences since you...
Compared to Korea?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the payment is better. The competition here is a little bit lower in terms of there's not many foreigners as everybody try to believe here. Because especially in Ukraine, we have a lot of beautiful and young girls who would do modeling for free. Because again, it's a
Ukraine is known
romanticized
for
dream
that.
of a super easy and super popular career. And they're at age of 15 or 16,
Man, that's pretty
they
young.
want to be a model. Therefore, any job, they will do it just let me be a model.
Yeah.
And therefore, the market prices, they just dropped. So you basically can get there somewhere from $10 to $20 per hour.
Really?
If you're lucky. Sometimes they're like, oh, we really like you, we're gonna give you the footage, but that's it. And you're like, well, shit,
Just as a
I just need my
portfolio, I guess.
portfolio. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Was there a reason why you specifically chose Korea to come here?
To be honest, it was a teenage dream of mine.
To come to here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because when I was 14, I guess, I got really interested in K-dramas. I think my first K-drama was Boys Over Flowers, starring the Lee Min-ho. The really...
That's so cringe now, isn't it?
Yeah. But back then,
Yeah,
it was
that was pretty cool.
one of the most popular ones.
Sail with the wind.
And then I started really diving into K-dramas. I haven't seen any K-drama for maybe 3 to 4 years now, but back then I was all into it. And maybe a couple years later, I discovered K-pop. Wasn't really impressed, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Because you're more
And
into rock, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was cute to watch them dance so synchronized, and songs usually were quite up to beat.
Yeah.
But
Not your cup of tea? I can
not
imagine.
100%.
Yeah,
So
I can
sometimes I
understand.
have a mood for it, but most of the time, not really. And from that time, I had like a dream to go to Korea because, again, I would say probably 50% of people who think about Korea know about Korea through the dramas or K-pop. They imagine Korea being like the country of idols and like this perfect K-drama style relationships and stuff.
It's never like that though.
Yeah, I came here first when I was 19, just for like tourist visit. And I was so disappointed. Like it was
What
it was a
disappoints you?
reality check.
What disappoints you the most, actually?
I'm not really sure. Maybe because it wasn't just the way I imagined it to be. It wasn't perfect. Like any country is not perfect.
Yeah.
It has a best and at worst. Probably my like biggest shock was how emotional guys here are, most of them. And that it didn't end with a puberty. It doesn't end with a puberty. So back in Ukraine or Canada, boys are quite emotional when they're in their teens. But whenever you're graduate high school, like you go to college, you start working, you got this like sense, oh, now you're a man. So you have to be like strong.
Yeah.
Not that you're emotionless, but you don't really express it that much.
Yeah. More reserved, I could say. There were more, so by you saying emotional, there were more positive thing, expressive, but negative thing is like maybe they could be too clingy. Is that what you're saying? Or
honestly, like I had a specific situation that like opened my eyes completely. The girl I was roommating with, she was in Korea for maybe like a year or something, and she was dating a guy. I'm not sure how old was she, probably around her 25 to 30 years. And the guy she was dating was around coming to his 40s.
That's such a big age difference.
Not really, but maybe for like Korean standards, I heard a lot of like if there's even 5 years different, it's like considered
5 years
big,
okay,
man.
but like but anyways.
Yeah, so and they at some point they argued. And he deleted all of their like photos on social medias. He blocked her everywhere and everything. And I was so shocked. Like the guy, he's almost 40, so like the age of my father at that point. And I'm like,
my God,
this is the behavior of hysterical teen girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's? And she's like, this is like pretty often reoccurring thing whenever we fight. And then he would ignore me for like a week or so, and then he will just re-upload everything as if he never deleted it, and we were like go back to where we were. I'm like, I would never be able to do that. I'm not saying every Korean man is like that.
Yeah, of course.
But I actually never experienced like an adult man who owns his business to behave like that. So it was like, wow, okay. And I love that you allow yourself to express emotions. But sometimes I feel like maybe because that the way I was raised, that's my job to express that kind of emotion, and your job to be like, no, that's like, stop.
Huh. I didn't know Koreans were that emotional.
Maybe not all of them. And again, you weren't like raised here, so maybe you have
half here, half outside. But well, I guess like it has its good ups and downs. Like my first experience with dating a foreign girl was actually with a Canadian girl, and I think around that time I made the mistake, not like a super big mistake, but I was definitely more used to dating Korean people, so I would act more Korean in a sense when it came to dating life. So what happened was, usually when you are physically intimate with somebody, it's kind of you are dating that person in Korea. Well, not like we know not everybody, but usually if you're like physically close and when you talk often, it's kind of saying that you're headed towards the dating situation. So I kind of thought of her as my girlfriend too. And one time I went to Ultra Music Festival with her. Then she gave me her phone so she wouldn't lose it, and then she disappeared. And yeah, like I couldn't find her for the day. So since I had her phone, I couldn't like contact her. So like from that point, I was always afraid if she was out of sight that she would disappear. So one time I was like in Itaewon, and then she disappeared, and I got really drunk. I ended up calling her like 10 times. I got really like paranoid, and I called her like 10 times, and then she's like, "Give me some space." I'm like, "Ah, okay, got it." Yeah, I like I didn't argue. I was like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, that's definitely understanding." So what I did, and then um, definitely, yeah, definitely different. More open there, but handled in a more mature way in a way. Like I don't for me it was my first experience that somebody told me like personal space was important and I would listen. And for me, I wanted to head for the dating direction, but she was 5 years older than me, so I was 5 years younger at that point, and our life trajectories were a little different. Obviously, I was starting out life, and she already had a job. And the reason for her coming to Korea was to experience, not to settle. So for her to date somebody would kind of mean settling. So she didn't want that. So like talked a lot, and it's like this is not what I want. So if you don't want it, you don't have to see me. But I was like, no, it's fine. Like, you do you. I like hanging out with you. I'll just try to stick around. And was one of my most complicated relationship ever, because like uh I found out once she went for summer holidays to Vietnam and she came back, and I realized she went there with her ex-boyfriend. So I didn't tell her that I found that. I said I was gonna stop seeing her, like but she randomly texted me after like 3 weeks saying that she was burnt because she was cooking something, the oil caught on fire, and she poured water, exploded. So I went and helped, and then like we continued seeing each other, but we didn't really say that we were dating or not, but kind of was. But yeah, it was pretty interesting, very different from my previous relationships, but actually like one of my favorite relationships that I had, because even though it wasn't really that normal, but who's to say what's normal? At least we talked about it a lot, and then um, at least we were in certain parts very honest about it. So yeah, even though we knew it was gonna end, we still like spent good time together. And then when things came to an end, we were able to say goodbye in a very respectable way for wishing each other like happiness. So it's pretty good. But yeah, I'm sure I was pretty emotional, very Korean mode that at that point. But yeah, after dating her, my aspect of dating and the way that I act shifted drastically. So just experience, I guess.
Now that I think about it, probably saying that you're emotional like an Asian guy, it's not the correct word that I used,
Mm,
because I love people being emotional,
yeah,
the guy I date to be emotional, but it's probably for like from my point of view, it's
yeah.
not about being emotional, it's about being immature.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So, if we are dating and you're expressive and you like really show me how much you like me, and I can do the same
yeah,
because like it's a give and take, that's wonderful.
yeah,
But whenever we fight and instead of talking it out, like bursting in some kind of,
yeah, yeah. So that's childish. Yeah,
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 so that
mm,
it's not about being emotional, it's
yeah,
about not being able to.
yeah. I mean, emotional is kind of true if you can't. Being emotional is good, but if you can't take control of it, and if you like uh because of your like if you're too emotional, and then that emotional outburst causes you to act irrationally, then I guess that's pretty negative. It's obviously causing no good whatsoever, so I can understand. But
Another difference that I noticed is that I'm not sure if you guys fall in love faster and you're
mm,
easier to admit it
yeah,
here, but whenever I did it, like European style, let's call
yeah,
it that, it takes a lot more time for you to get to the stage like I love you.
yeah, yeah,
The guy I recently broke up with here was a Korean,
yeah,
and on our third date, third meeting, he
mm,
was already saying I love
yeah,
you. For me, third date is a stage when I can definitely say, I like you.
Yeah.
I like your appearance. I
Yeah.
like your...
Hanging out with
Yeah.
you, we're having
But
fun, that's good.
loving you
Yeah, it's too
after
much.
like 2 dates,
Yeah.
it's like...
Yeah.
And the thing is, now I'm not sure if he was really meaning it because he
Mm.
broke up with me by message and saying, no, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
like, shit, just like blocked. Because again, it's not about the Koreans. It's just like all in all, breaking up by
Yeah.
text is like
Fucking horrible.
worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
And another thing that I didn't really know if we were like exclusively dating
Mm.
because it was never discussed.
Yeah.
It was never announced. But he asked me once, like, if a guy approaches you and asks you, do you have a boyfriend? What would you say?
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, I have a boyfriend at this point because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
But he never said anything in return. So I'm like, I still have no idea.
Mm.
Back in Ukraine and practically everywhere I've been, you usually just point it out. If it's a hookup, it's a hookup. If it's
Okay.
something like, oh, I really like you. Do you want to like date? Do you want to hang out? Then it's probably going somewhere.
When do you say that though? Is it like in the beginning stage or like you...
I mean, if you met at a party and if you want to have sex,
Yeah.
you state that it's going to be sex before the sex happens. Because
Really?
otherwise it can be different
Oh,
expectations.
yeah. That's
And
true.
it's going to traumatize one of the people. And
That's right.
sometimes... usually the cliche is that the girl wants a serious relationship
Yeah.
and the guy's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
just for fun.
Yeah.
But in terms of my friend group, it mostly happens otherwise.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
guys expect the girl to be like into them from the first glance right away.
Mm.
And when that didn't happen, even if they weren't serious
Yeah.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
it's like it crushes their
Their
self-esteem,
ego.
their
Yeah.
ego, and they're like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
No,
Am I not worth it?
No, I'm serious.
Exactly. I want her now. I can't have it. I want it. Give it to me now.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, basically, like it usually discussed prior,
Okay.
or like if you're into the relationship and you feel like, oh, he's good, but not that good that I want to really be more than something that more than friends with benefits, you just talk it out. And the earlier the better.
I think one of the reasons why Korea may act irrational is because the lack of communication, especially when it comes to sex. It's like a taboo subject. It's not very easy openly talked about. And the thing is, like, usually the most common case is like you disclose that you're gonna date first and then you have sex. Usually. So that's why they disclose if they're gonna date first and then they have like physical intimacy. But outside of Korea tends to be sometimes the opposite. Like
I mean, in Ukraine, it's actually same. Like,
really?
unless you're going for a hookup and you want that, usually if you're serious, you're dating first, and it can take, like, it depends on the person. It can be a week before you have intimacy, or it can be 6 months. So it's just like completely random. And it can be the same person, but with different standards for like different person.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I also have a couple of friends that they're not like promised or something, but they are not gonna have sex until they're married. So that's also like something you discuss on second date or something.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I admire that. I have a friend who was like that. Recently got married. He got married last year. Like, bless him. You know, like people make fun of it, but now that I'm older, like I had my experiences. I'm like, who is it to say it's a bad thing to just have experience with one person? Like at the end of the day, like if you can share with one person, it's just as worth, even maybe worth more than sharing with as many experiences. Like no one's to say it's a bad thing or a good thing, but yeah, for me now, it's like, maybe it potentially could have been better just to meet one person. Like,
for me, both things are fine until you're double dating or something.
Oh yeah.
So cheating is something that I do not tolerate, whatever the excuse are.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, oh, he has a lot of experience, good. He doesn't have any experience, good. Whatever. Like it's not the main point in a relationship for me.
You know the ice cream theory? It's like, so you have like two flavors.
Okay.
So maybe it's like, let's say you have chocolate and vanilla.
Okay.
And you choose one and you're really happy. It's like, yes, I made the right choice. Well, let's say you have 100 options. Maybe you choose one and you're like, did I choose the right one? And then you wonder because you had so many options. But that was like my thing. I was like, since I've had like my experiences now, I was like, which one's the right one? Because I don't know. Because I'm like, now I have too many. It's like, yeah, you think it's better to have more because you think you'll have a clearer picture, but maybe you don't. The more it confuses you. So at this point, I'm like, what's the right thing now? Like, yeah, I'm pretty confused. So, but maybe I take it as like, maybe the universe is telling me not to date at this point. Just like, do your work, man. Focus on yourself. Yeah. But just trying to take it in. But that's why I was like, yeah, maybe it's not a bad thing just to date one person and then just get married. Especially because I made the choice of breaking up with a girl that I dated for 6 years to meet as much as people as possible because I thought I was going to be a rock star. Yeah, but I don't know if it was the right call, but maybe a necessary one to understand that it was maybe wrong, but yeah, just something I chose.
About that, I really like the phrase, like, it's not your case, but if there was the second one, then the first one wasn't right.
Yeah.
So the second one wouldn't appear if the first one was right. So I feel like every choice you make in life, they're right.
That's true.
Or something would go like, you might have some consequences that you cannot even imagine right now.
You don't really know. Like, there's no such thing as good or bad. It's just, it's happening. Now it may seem good. Maybe in the future it was something tragic that was disguised as being good. And then something you think it's bad at the moment. Maybe it was the best thing that potentially could have happened to you. So we don't really know. But yeah. So yeah. However, I view things at the moment as don't take it too seriously. Don't be too happy. Don't be too sad. Just take it in and then just let go. But obviously I'm human. Emotion has its effects. So like, yeah, but I want to have that in mind whenever something good happens or bad happens, just trying to stay balanced, but not the easiest. Like, I'm a pretty radical person. I'm like extreme. I am like extremely one-sided. Like,
black or white.
Yeah, like two of my favorite colors usually, just black or white.
Same here.
Yeah, very simple, but I guess that's how extreme I am with life too. But lately, I tried to incorporate a little more balance. Like, I think last year I started to incorporate more color in my wardrobe too. Before that, it was just black.
Maybe start with the wardrobe and then your mentality is gonna
maybe, but I mean, I believe like it's all connected, so maybe it'll help. And then this year there's this, because a lot of people from the Western world, they believe in like astrology. In Korea we have something similar called saju. So apparently if you do that, they tell you which color is good for you.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Haven't heard about that one.
I was like really curious because my friend knows like this person that's apparently good. So I tried it this year and then she's
which
like,
one?
I don't know, you do like a phone call and then...
No. Did you figure out which color is good for you?
Well, she told me a few. I just remember one. It was like this greenish blue or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
So kind of color of the sea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She told me sea was like really good for me. And the sun, apparently. Like, in Saju, this like Korean astrology kind of thing, you are assigned if you're like a sun, like gold, water, earth, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Apparently I was like treasure gold. So that's why it needs to shine. So you need water to clean it and the sun to make you shine. So like incorporate people that are like that.
Don't say endorse that much.
Yeah. So she told me like maybe hang a picture of the ocean and the sea and then they'll give you like good fortune. So I'm like, okay.
Or just move to the sea and have a big window.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the best, you know. Yeah. Just like wake up and watch the sunrise. That'd be pretty damn cool.
I'm a person who's gonna go sleep with the sunrise because I go to sleep that late and waking up to see the sunrise would be an extreme deal for me.
That's usually me too. I would usually sleep pretty late, but I want to wake up early. Like, I don't know why. It feels like I have more time whenever I wake up early.
For me, it's actually the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I usually, I come home if let's say I woke up at 12 or something. Yeah. And I come home at 10. I'm like, oh, I think it's quite late. I'm gonna go sleep soon, and then I have so much time until I really feel sleepy. Like I do so much stuff, and usually my creativity is at its peak whenever it's dark. So it's like sun blocks me or something.
Yeah, that could happen.
But yeah,
I think for me, the reason is like, since I already sleep really late, if I wake up, I still end up sleeping really late. So actually, I have a lot of more time. I feel like it's like that, but yeah. But creative wise, I always thought that I needed to be. I thought it had to be dark for me to be creative too. But for my case now, I feel like it's kind of an excuse. It's just if I shift my mentality towards that direction, it tends to happen no matter the time. But just to shift it like that takes a lot of mental energy, so it
Yeah.
drains me. So I tend to not do it, but I end up doing it at night because usually I have nothing to do. But yeah, I want to try to live a life, maybe during the daylight. Apparently, it's good for you. Like, gives you vitamin D or something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I see the daylight in the window. I need to close it because I'm a vampire or something.
Yeah.
But I actually like the bright light, unless it's a stage or something. When it's like super bright, it's blinding.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. But whenever I go out and it's already dark, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's so relaxing. For me, light is something that makes me gather myself up, I guess, and be ready for something. But when it's like dark, I'm more relaxed and more calm, and I don't need to be
Could be a good thing.
composed, I guess.
Could be a good thing if you're alert during the day. You don't want to be alert?
Nah.
Just
Again,
want to be
it takes so
chill.
much mental energy.
Okay,
It takes, because you're like, oh, something is gonna happen, good or bad, but something is gonna happen, and nothing happens, but you still were preparing for it. You're wasting your energy. And when it's night, like even if something happens, I'm like, oh wow, cool, okay, let's do that.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like,
I like when things happen, so maybe that's when it's different.
maybe it's like from my parents, not from like being in the dark or something. They're completely normal, unlike me. But they're down for anything. I remember, was it like 3 years ago or something? It was a New Year's Eve, and we were planning to celebrate as a family at home because unlike in Korea, it's like a family, friends holiday. It's a big thing. It is a big deal.
In Korea, Christmas is like a goddamn... not a family
really.
event.
Yeah, again.
No, I'm saying like in Korea is like dating event.
Yeah. And then New Year is something like you just acknowledge that it's a new year and that's it. But, and then I think it was like 3 hours past, it was 2 hours past midnight. So it already was first.
Yeah.
And my mom got a call from her friend and they were chatting and like, oh, do you want to come? And so it was like 2 a.m. and we were getting ready to go like for 2 hours drive because they lived quite far away just to hang out. Yeah. I'm like, you're crazy.
Really? You wouldn't do that?
Now I would. But at that point, I was like about 18, 19. And for me being a teenager, if I do that, it was normal.
Oh, yeah.
But my parents, like, what the hell? You're supposed to be the adult of this family.
Cool parents, that's why.
Yeah. My parents are definitely like my best friends.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's a best relationship that you can have. Yeah. I'm pretty fortunate too. Because you know how like, do you know how Korean families work? It's like a very patriotic system. Yeah. So you're like very respectful to your dad. My dad's like my friend. It's like,
that's
hey
wonderful.
bro. I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? He's like, when will you grow up? Never. But yeah, just have like weird arguments with my dad that would never really happen. How can you talk back to your father? It's like that. But my family is like, I would argue, Dad, why is weed illegal in Korea? That it should be legalized. And be like, no, it shouldn't be. And we have like a heated discussion.
Because we were talking about dating before, I'm like, oh, his wife is gonna be really lucky with like parents-in-law. Your mom is also like that?
Yeah. They're like
wonderful,
super open. They don't care. They're like, don't mind us. You
That's
live
really
your life.
Cool.
Yeah. And I said it earlier too, but like my dad helped like when it comes to dating, I have like a hopeless romantic side of me, but it's because my dad supported me in like every way whenever I date. So like when I was in fifth grade, I liked a girl who lived in Poland, but I was in Romania. So he helped me fly all the way over there to meet her for one day. And then so I had that memory. So I would usually tell my love life about my dad, which is not very common, obviously, for a guy to tell his love life to his parents. But my dad established like he's a person who would be very supportive from a young age. So I knew I could tell him everything. So this is one time when I was in Hongdae, and ironically, I guess that was a Polish girl too that I really liked. So she stayed 3 days in Hongdae and then a month in Busan. So like I really liked her. It's after the relationship with the Canadian girl. So I didn't see anybody for over a year. And then it's like, yeah, I was interested in her. And then I ended up talking to her. And like, because I really liked her at that point, I wanted to show her so much in one day since she was staying only in 3 days in Seoul. So like one day was 1 week's worth of events. I packed in like, let's go here, let's go here, let's take cab. It doesn't matter. Like go there and then try to show her like everything. And I think she liked me too, and she wanted to stay at my place, but she came over and all of a sudden she's like, I'm sorry, I have to go. And she just left. I was like, what the hell did I do wrong? What happened? So like I tried to process it, but my only radical explanation was, oh, because she had to leave, maybe she didn't want any attachments. That was my explanation. So she went to Busan, and because I really wanted to see her, I decided to go to Busan, and I didn't want to go alone. So I asked my friends like, hey, there's this girl that I really like. I want to go to Busan. Do you want to go with me? And they're like, sure, I'll go with you. So I went to Busan, and I told the girl, but I wasn't too honest because I was a little scared to admit. So I said, hey, my friend is going to Busan, so I'm tagging along. So if you have time, do you want to meet? And she's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll try to make time. But um, she was living in a dormitory, so she always had to return at 12. And like I said, around that time I wasn't really working, so I had no money, and I was sleeping at a 찜질방, which is like a sauna place. You pay like maybe $8 for a night. So I would stay there for a week, and I ran out of all money, but I had my dad's credit card. So at like 2 a.m. I called my dad. I was like, why are you calling me at this hour? Dad, I used a bit of your credit card. And I was like, I told you not to use it. And he got really angry. He's like, hey, bro, okay, chill out. Like, let me tell you my story. So I explained the entire story. And he's like, okay, use as much as you want, son. Yes. So I asked myself, should I book a hotel or not? But I didn't want to waste my dad's money, so I didn't book it just in case. And like I went to a bar with her, we had a good time, and I asked like, I really like you, like I want you to stay with me today. She's like, okay, I'll stay with you. Where's your hotel? I didn't book one yet, but I know there are a lot of hotels around here, so we can book one now. And then that's where the magic kind of broke. And then she's like, oh no, I gotta go back. And then walked her home. Then I came back, and I wanted to stay longer, but I couldn't because I had to go to Vietnam to see my dad. So I tried to cancel the tickets, but I couldn't. So eventually I ended up in Vietnam, but I had such a great time there. It was like amazing. And ended up writing a song there too. It was called Wanderer. It's like making me realize that I was a wanderer, how the Canadian girl was in Korea wandering, the Polish girl too. Then I was in Vietnam wandering, but it's actually we're wandering for our entire lives, searching for something because we are all like broken inside, trying to find that peace that fulfills us, whatever that may be, like ambition, lovers, whatever. But just had that feeling, and then like wrote a song about it. But yeah. Anyways, the point was like my dad's very supportive. Yeah, supports my love life.
And the most wonderful thing for me is I'm listening to the stories in the second time. I'm like, I'm not sure how should I react as if I'm listening to it for the first time or like genuinely what I think about it now. Because
yes,
yeah,
But
I actually love the side of you, like quite diving into it. Whatever happens. It's fun. It's cool. I'm kind of like that in like life perspective, but when it comes to dating, not that much. I'm a little bit more taken aback and reserved when it comes to dating. So,
well, you're very how to say, like you dive in when it comes to like your work things.
yeah.
You told me that you went to Sri Lanka, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got offered a job, and then you're like, sure, I'll go, and then you just went for it, right?
Yeah, I actually wasn't offered a job. I at first
Right,
offered a
right,
job interview. So I
right.
actually traveled half of the world just for a job interview. It
Yeah.
was like,
That's like really brave in a way.
yeah, my parents
Yeah.
thought the other way around, but
Man.
because I was 19 at the point, and let's be honest, I didn't have a lot of experience in terms of how unfair and unlucky life can be.
Yeah.
But like nothing happened to me, so nothing to regret. And even if something did happen, there is nothing to regret. I do tend to have the staircase effect when I finish the conversation, and when I get home, I'm like, shit, I should have said that. But in terms of like some kind of an event in my life, I don't think I have anything that I would have done differently.
Mm.
Just
You,
because I accept that everything that happened,
Yeah.
it should have been that way.
yeah. That's exactly what made you today. So it's a necessary event, whatever they may be. I like how you put that. That's pretty cool. I appreciate how brave you can be when it comes to work. I think it took me a long time to actually like dive in when it comes to work, because people told me I was okay, but I always had the fear inside to actually take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess mostly I didn't want to disappoint myself. So whenever I had certain opportunities, I would say that I was not ready. But in honest truth, I was mostly just scared just to take it. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you were able to do that when you were 19 and just go for it, regardless of the outcome. But and then I think you're still living that kind of a life since you're here in Korea. Just really going for it, whatever opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like whenever you're open to the opportunities, they appear.
Yeah.
Like for me, the last most stressful event was I participated in the TV show here in Korea,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to talk in Korean about politics.
Damn.
Oh, that was super stressful. And when I was
I want to
applying,
watch that.
you can find it on YouTube. It's like it's there. It exists. So when I was applying, they needed a girl from Ukraine.
Yeah.
With a decent level of Korean.
Yeah.
And when I was applying, I specified that my speaking in Korean is not good. Like, I understand, but my speaking is not good. If there is a script that I can prepare, learn, remember, whatever, I'm down for it. But if you want me to, like,
debate
at
about
podcast,
it.
like, if you want me talking, that's not for me. Like, okay, got that. And then I got the job. I wasn't, like, really thinking about it, but I got it. I'm like, oh, shit. But if they agreed to my words, that means that there is going to be a scenario, that there is going to be something that I can rely on.
Yeah.
There was one, but they gave it to me like an hour before shooting. So not really big of a help. But it was super stressful in the process. But nonetheless, it was such an interesting experience. And I believe my Korean...
exponentially grew after that experience, probably, right?
Yeah,
I can imagine.
And I feel like there is nothing I cannot do anymore. Like,
That's
I
cool,
talked about politics in the language that I don't really speak yet. Sign me up. Like, right now I have a movie shooting where I speak Hebrew.
Really?
Which I never, ever heard before. Like, Korean, at least I learned it to some degree. But this one... never.
Oh, that's why you asked if there was an Israeli person in the group chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I needed somebody to
teach you.
Not teach me, more like speak that sentences so I can
pronounce
hear.
It better.
Because Google Translate doesn't really pronounce it really distinctively.
Sounds like a robot.
Yeah, and there is no intonation.
Yeah, exactly.
But nonetheless, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna be super fun. Could you guess what kind of a role it's gonna be? Who am I playing?
Soldier? Female soldier, maybe?
No.
I have no idea.
Holy Maria.
Really? You're saying... Is that from a movie?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's gonna be a Korean movie, so
really?
It's
That's
gonna
cool.
Be fun. I have no idea why me and the other guy, he's speaking Hindi and I'm speaking Hebrew.
It's pretty random.
Like, why not just give the subtitles or something and just make us speak Korean?
Yeah. Because
everything else is in Korean, but the director is the boss, so.
Pretty interesting. Maria. Yeah. Speaking Hebrew, I don't think I would have chosen it. I don't like to make a fool out of myself most of the time. So that's why like when I want to choose something, I'm like pretty scared, but pretty impressive. Yeah.
For me, probably having that many of the photo shoots and stuff gave me the confidence that you can have like 10 foolish shots and one
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
But the more foolish shots you get, the more good ones you get.
Yeah,
And
that's
if you
true.
only restrict it to one specific pose, yeah, you're gonna get
Yeah.
only good shots, but
Yeah.
there's gonna be a single one.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, that's true. It's good that you see that way because sometimes people see the other way. They're like, man, I have to take thousands of photos to get one good photo. Not thinking it like you. You're like more in a positive way. Yeah, the more I shoot, the more photos I'm gonna get. They're like, oh, I only get these handfuls, but I'm shooting thousands, which are horrible. So it makes me horrible. In a way, that's maybe how I thought, maybe. Not now, but necessarily. But when I was younger, I was like, man, I suck so much. I have to do this much in order to record a good song. Like, man, I'm sure there are people who could just do one take and they're amazing at it. But, which
there
is
are,
true, but yeah, but it's just not me. And then maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. But I'll find out if I don't take these steps. So, good influence.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it like a Korean drama or, oh no, you said movie, right?
Yeah, it's like Korean short movie.
Mm.
From what I got, it's gonna be a comedian horror movie.
Really?
Yeah, so, and I'm gonna be there in the like last couple
Mm.
minutes, seconds. I'm not
Oh.
even sure how much it's gonna take.
Were you casted through the agencies or is it like a...
No, actually, this one I was casted thanks to my friend,
That's pretty
who's
cool.
the one gonna speak Hindi. So
Yeah.
he was casted,
Ah.
and when he was there, they're like, "Oh, we need a female."
Yeah.
He's like, "Take her." I'm like, "Oh, fun, cool," and they actually did. So I didn't have a casting before I was actually approved, just because he recommended me. So I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wonders."
It's like how the industry works sometimes through a friend, but
Yeah. Like Korean entertainment business usually works through connections.
Yeah,
It's not like so I have a good portfolio from outside the Korea, but it doesn't really make me stand out. But once I started working and once I started like doing the jobs for some agencies, they are coming back to me because they know I work
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And again, like some people recommend me there, I recommend them here, and that's basically how it plays out. It's something that to be honest, I'm not lacking, but I'm not really willing to invest my energy into is keeping up the connections. So I'm making the connections, but then I'm like, oh shit, I'd rather go to work than go meet somebody for a cup of coffee because like, can I stay at home?
The introvert side of you?
Half, I guess. I was super extrovert until I turned like 18. And then when I started traveling, then I had a falling out. And then I think I was a super introverted person, but now I'm like half and half. Whenever I'm in the group of people, I'm super comfortable. I love talking, I love chatting, I love finding out new things. But whenever I'm back at home, I need to really make a good effort to leave my house for anything, basically.
Just the way you are, I guess. I know like a lot of people want to come to Korea and then just the group of friends that I know are that they have like some categories just wanting to travel to Korea, and some of them like come here for the wanting to try the modeling and acting thing. I mean, it seems like you're doing pretty well with like how you're finding connections and everything. Like maybe do you go with a hunch finding the right people or
the
do you
thing
try
is,
everything
I think I
mostly?
have a easy level of difficulty in my life preset somewhere because I try everywhere and it works out for me. So I know I have quite bad female intuition because I have a friend who's like super good at it. Like if she says this person is bad, and if I still like pursue or something, in the end she's always right. Like I have no idea how she does it.
I had an argument about that a few days ago.
But I don't have like maybe at some level, but not definitely a lot of the point she does. And in my life, I just try everything. I just go everywhere. I will send my profile to every single person I know that might be able to give me the job. and then just hope for the best and like be open to it. I wouldn't take every job on though, but like most of the times, everything I get back is good for me.
I think your willingness to just try everything out is like
Yeah.
really important, because a lot of people don't actually make the first step, including myself. I haven't done that a lot, so
I love new experiences. I love experiments. Like I'm not talking about like going for a shoot nude or something.
yeah. But
Because
just like
everybody has their limits. But otherwise, trying new settings, new locations, some new talents, whatever, wonders. And if it brings me some new skill as an addition,
yeah.
even better. Like, oh, do you want to take a shoot like horse riding? Yeah, I'm willing. I have no idea how to horse ride. No, I actually do, but not that I can freely do anything.
Yeah.
But just like basical, take a horse for a walk. Yeah, I'm down for it. Like any sports, for example, right now I have on my checklist to learn how to play golf. Because in Korea, there's lots of jobs, lots of entertainments when you need to be able to
It's like a
at least
social event.
pretend
Yeah.
you can play golf.
Yeah.
And I have no idea about it. So I need just like some basics to start it out.
I think like you have like good intuition, and like your willingness to learn is quite good. So it's like you're very open to learning new things.
I'm open to learn new things, but whenever I get bored,
Do you get bored quite fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
To most of the things, unless it's like really fun for me. So music was such a thing that stayed with me for a super long time. It's still there. Acting and modeling is fun. I love it. Right now, I would say self-defense courses. I enjoy so much.
Yeah.
Like, I hate gym. It's so...
Didn't you say you do Krav Maga?
Yeah.
It's perfect, because you got casted for the Hebrew-Israeli thing, and it's Israeli emotional.
Yeah.
Make sure you say that to them.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure
That's
you say that to them.
where it came from. Yeah.
You're like, yes. Maybe Maria can do some Krav Maga. Who knows?
No, that's definitely different setting, but
Since it's a comedy.
yeah.
But
and then like something that keeps me interested in it for a long time is something I love, because otherwise I'm like, I can do that. Usually it's like two ways. Either it gives me a sense of accomplishment, like, I can do that really well from the start. I'm not willing to invest more time in it. Or when I try and I try and I try, but it doesn't work out, and I'm like, it's not for me, I guess. Like, unless it's like something I really need, I'm gonna keep on doing, keep on like breaking the walls, whatever. But if it's just like for fun, I'm like, I guess.
Then since you said like two opposing things, like you said one thing you're good at, and then so since you're good at it, you don't do it. One other thing, since you keep trying to do it, and if you're not good at it, that's where you stop. And what are the things you think that actually draws you to keep on doing?
Emotional connection and emotional release.
Okay, that's actually a good point. Yeah, definitely Krav Maga release. Yeah, I could imagine.
And maybe also like if I have a good friend who's into it and we're like doing it together, that also will help me to get invested into something.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think I need something for emotional release maybe. So that's why like when you said Krav Maga was pretty cool. Like I said, I wanted to try MMA before, but it's still in my bucket list to try boxing or MMA. So I can imagine it'd be potentially pretty cool. Pretty good
like
release.
Krav Maga, for me right now, it's it helps me to release my like anger or something that's deep down there. Like,
do you have subconscious anger inside you? Like build up anger?
I would say so, because since I was a teen, I had some problems. Like, I was trying to cover up my emotions, like being a people pleaser or something. Like, be good to everybody. Whatever I really think inside doesn't really matter. So right now, I'm not 100% over it, but I think I'm leveling it out. But still, some leftovers are still there. And then the war that's going back in my home country, whenever something like major happens, it like builds up quite fast. But I would say the major stress and emotion reliever is singing, because it can be done at any point, anywhere, and like Sometimes I just walk down the street and I'm singing.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about Korea, nobody pays attention. Nobody cares.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I was singing like super loud and something and it was too distracting, but I just like, I'm not whispering, but singing to myself basically.
That's cool. Yeah. I did something similar, but I was excessively loud. So it caused some problem, but
Well, now you have the studio.
yeah, now I'm lucky. Now I can. But ironically, I do it less.
Because it's not that exciting,
exactly.
not that nerve-wracking
it's more
anymore.
fun just being outside and then screaming. But yeah, man, I wish I had the excitement back. But I mean, try new experiments. Like,
do you want to skydive?
Huh?
Do you want to skydive?
Oh yeah, that was your thing. Like you want to skydive, right? Yeah.
Do you want to go together?
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, because you said you need new opening, new
That's
emotions.
right.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna help you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking cool to do. I'll be definitely willing to do that. You should come to.
Can you ask him if he
You want
likes
to come skydiving?
Oh, cool.
Skydiving, are you? What is skydiving in Korean?
Skydiving.
Ah, same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we should definitely go together, and then he should film us, and then do it. Just
filming while falling down.
It's like a first time thing. Why not? But skydiving is definitely something that I want to do. And
yeah, but be sure to strap the camera to your arms or something, because specifically in the first seconds, it's gonna be like, and like the camera is there, like, oh shit.
Maybe you get better footage out of it.
But it's gonna be destroyed because you cannot like really go back up to, and you're heavier than the camera, so you're going down faster.
Maybe the guy is professional. He does like the thing where you like aerodynamics, which makes you like more.
Yeah,
and then he goes slower, and then he like catches it.
Oh, okay. Like a movie.
My dumb imagination's going wild, but that's actually pretty cool.
Maybe once you open the parachute, you like slow down really well.
But then your phone drops faster.
Yeah, and if you can really like make it happen, if you're good at physics and geometry, you may be like gonna be like just like, bum. Oh, it's here. But not me, definitely.
Not me too. Maybe our teacher will. Hopefully.
I mean, it's a good thing that whenever you go skydiving for the first time, you have a person like you strapped to.
Yeah.
But in the same time, I feel like I would rather go alone for the adrenaline of it.
The thrill.
And to be in full control of it.
Yeah. Man, I think but you need practice to do that, no?
True.
That'd be really nerve-wracking.
But it's gonna feel so good.
Like we need stages, like bungee diving first. Have you tried bungee diving before?
No, I haven't, because they say it's like really bad for your back.
Maybe, yeah.
So I'm like, but
I haven't tried, so I'm not sure about it, but potentially
I don't remember how it's called, but it's basically 700 meters or 800 meters or something. Or is it 1 kilometer, 700 meters? Okay, it's like not as much as when you jump off the plane, probably 700. And you're just running off the cliff. Yeah. And you have parachute that already open. So you're just
just gliding around.
Yeah. But it's not the triangle one. It's just like regular one.
A real like parachute?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it was.
But you don't know the feeling of free dive.
Yeah. It wasn't enough. It was enough for me for like first 10 seconds, but then I was just like sitting there and like, is anything gonna happen? I mean, the guy who was handling it, he actually in the end he started like he's maybe noticed that I'm like
getting bored.
Yeah. So he started the professional ones, they like rotate around. And he started doing that, and I was like, oh, that I like. Yeah. That makes sense.
You like the excitement in life.
Yeah.
I can tell. Okay.
I like the speed. I like the.
Yeah. I think like I like safety a little more usually. Like I get pretty scared, especially I get scared for others. Like for me, I feel like I have control of myself.
Yeah.
You know. But when I see somebody like who's really high up, then I'm like, please don't go. I feel like you're gonna fall. You know. I don't think I was like that when I was younger, but like once I grew up and acknowledged that you could potentially die, I'm like, oh, don't do that. It's like scary. That's how I got cautious. But
Yeah, the thing is, what you're telling, like, about being scared for others,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know how it's gonna feel. Because they're gonna be they're gonna be dead. They're not gonna think it over and stuff. You're gonna be the one stuck with the feeling if something happens to
That's
them.
true. That's
So
true.
I'm not really like, I don't think I'm afraid of dying or
Really?
anything. Yeah.
Have you ever
I,
thought about it?
every time I'm up, I always feel like, oh, I wonder how it's gonna feel if I step down.
Mm.
It's not like I wanna die or
Yeah.
have any suicidal thoughts,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean, I don't wanna necessarily die,
yeah.
but I'm not afraid if anything happens.
Mm.
I don't wanna die painfully.
Yeah.
So if I wanna
Mm.
go out, do it fast.
You definitely have like adventurous soul. Yeah. I have more curiosity side of me. So the reason why I think about it is like just curiosity.
Mhm.
What would happen? Like the purpose and everything, and then just like mind going crazy. Yeah. But
Yeah, my curiosity is too strong.
yeah.
I think, and then I'm like, okay, let's try it.
Well, hopefully not dying, but not yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like sometimes like at night it just comes in my mind. Like what happens when we die? A random video YouTube
Oh,
shorts happens.
yeah.
Like it's like damn. And then like the infinite thoughts, and then it's kind of like overwhelms me a little bit, and I'm like, oh no, I can't think about it. I gotta meditate, like shut it out, and then yeah, listen to some like good podcast or something. Shut it out, and then just fall asleep. But too much to comprehend.
I mean, I feel like, oh, can I get it back, please? Yeah, it's a nice thing. Put your hands on. I think that whatever happens afterwards we die,
Yeah.
it does. So if you're afraid or not, it's gonna happen.
That's right.
And then if you like dissolve into the world and like
Yeah.
you never exist anymore,
Yeah. Doesn't that scare you?
no. I mean, I'm gonna be the energy, and the energy will turn up into something again.
Oh, that's true. That's how I try to think too. But like, yeah.
And if there is like this mythical hell and heaven thing, I don't think I deserve to go to heaven. I don't think I deserve to go to hell. So I'm like, that's gonna be another surprise for me.
Yeah. Maybe you start another life again. Like the middle ground.
They're like, we don't know where to place you, go back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you restart.
oh shit.
Yeah. Because maybe it's easy for you because you've done it so many times. You know? That's why it's easy
Maybe,
mode.
yeah.
It's like, it's nothing to worry about. I've done it 1,000 times. So yeah. I don't know what my life mode is. It seems easy yet it's not. So it's confusing me. But I think I'm making it complicated, even though it's easy. So I'm the stupid one. That's how I think like that. You know why I thought like that? You know, because like last time I went to this bar called Pi.
Mm.
I don't know if I told you. I went there with a friend, and then there was like this puzzle that we had to solve.
No, I haven't heard about
Okay,
it.
so I traveled with my friend to Pi in Thailand, and we like hung out there, like did busking and then performing, and then we missed that place, and randomly walking around Itaewon saw the bar Pi. My God, we should try it. So went there. There was this like puzzle, and so it was two pieces locked together. So you had
Okay.
to unwind it and then put it back together.
Okay.
That's the puzzle. We stayed there for 3.5 hours trying to figure it out. We did. But the beautiful part was we wouldn't have solved it without each other. So like he tried to do this one thing, and then whatever he tried to do, it was he was complicating the puzzle. And then at one point I was like trying to do something different. He's like, "Why are you doing it that way?" And I was like, "It's the only way that we haven't tried." And then through that we were able to solve it. And then putting it back together, I was trying to put it back together. And whatever I did, like I was making it more complicated. So I was like making it more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And then he watched me, and all of a sudden he's like, maybe this way. And we did it. We solved it. And once we solved it, my personality is like, I'm done with it. I don't want to think about it. But he's like, he thought about it, and he tried to memorize how the puzzle was solved. And he would tell me, he would ask me, and like we ended up like dissecting and understanding it like 100%. And it was like actually really profound and beautiful for me, because without him, first of all, I wouldn't have been able to solve it. And the lesson was so beautiful in a way, because like how simple the answer was, except every single other move that we were doing, we were complicating the simple answer.
Mm-hmm.
The answer was so simple. It was like 3 steps. It was like, it was done. But whatever like wrong turns, like it looked more complicated, and like it was like twisted, and like oh my God, it's so complicated. One screen was like, such a breeze. I'm like, man, it's such a beautiful life lesson. Like, stop complicating. And I'm sure with my life, I was complicating many things that would have been so easy, but either I wasn't facing them in an honest way, or I was trying to cover it away, or yeah, me being afraid. So these like steps potentially made my life more difficult. Otherwise, it could have been easier. So I was like, this year I'm gonna acknowledge these things and then maybe do the opposite way of how I used to do things. And potentially that could make life a little simpler. Yeah. And you gave me a good life lesson too. Like just be optimistic and then just try out. Yeah. Reach out to whatever you can and then see the outcome. And I'll let you know if my life's on easy mode.
Okay.
And then secretly blame you if it's too hard. I'm like, I complicated my life. I knew it. But obviously not. We know it'll be easy mode. I have a feeling too. Intuition kicking in. Like, bro, you know it's the right way. Yeah.
I mean, because of everything we've been told, and not by our parents, I mean just by society, like the rules, regulations, you have to do this, you have to live like that. You find yourself in this position when, I want to live well, but they say to live well, I need to do that.
Yeah.
And whenever you realize that it's not necessarily true, like not for everybody.
That's true, yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. So I could have done it differently and it would have benefited me more. And then you just let yourself do whatever you like feel right.
Yeah.
And it just like goes easier.
You know, I'm really impressed with how many people have like a very straight mind. Like the more that I do the podcast, like if I look back,
the more that I do third episode, I'm sorry.
No, because like I have more people I've met more people for the podcast to break the ice prior.
Yeah.
So I met probably like 6-7 people, but all of them have their interesting life and reasons and different perspective, which is pretty cool. And then just like find it really interesting how I wasn't able to think like that when I was their age, and every person's take is really cool and different. Like, so my thing is like, I tend to overcomplicate things and think too much about it. So for me personally, I've found that logic was really important in life and it kind of defines you as a person. Because like, that was my take. And one person, potential like candidate for podcast was like, no, I think like feelings is more that makes you you. It's like the basic thing that comes first. You have the feelings and then you process it and then you have the thoughts. But I argued a little differently. I was like, maybe you have the feelings, but potentially it could be right or wrong. But the decision and the thought process that you have could be the real you. And like had this argument, and then one other person that I've met, I told her that story, and she was like, "Well, I think action defines your reality. So it's actually what you actually do that defines it." And when when I really thought about it, all three has to coexist too. Yeah, it's like none of them is the real answer. It's just a piece of it. So I really liked, bits and pieces of everyone's take. And it's cool that even though it's been maybe like 2-3 weeks since I've done this, like I got to hear different takes and incorporate it and then actually use it in my real life, which was pretty cool. Whenever like before then, I would always like just think about it. But I was like, maybe this time I'll just take the action, just see how it is, just try the action. And then another time, maybe I'll just really have to think about how I'm feeling to listen to my intuition and take the steps. So like, yeah, good approaches, good lessons,
I mean, for me, I think I'm a little bit more on a logic side than feeling side.
Yeah.
But I feel unless you voice it out, it doesn't really influence you that much.
Yeah.
So like voice it out, take an action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little bit more based on logic. And I think every person have their mix. It's definitely a mix, but it's not a third of each for every person. It's different and it's good. And for me, I know that it was like a hard thing to comprehend, to stop arguing and make people feel like I feel.
That's true.
And whenever I'm like, some people really hate me for that, but when we go into the argument and I believe one thing and they believe one thing, and if like I don't know how many times I'm not able to persuade them, I just give up in terms of like, okay, you're still gonna believe what you believe, and I'm still gonna believe what I believe. Let's just end this conflict. Let's do something else. And I like shit, but I'm still like,
Yeah,
I'm
they're
too,
heated. Yeah,
I'm into
invested.
yeah, I'm like,
Let me win my argument now.
but you're not gonna
Yeah,
win because
definitely
I'm
not.
still gonna stay
Yeah,
with my whites and you're gonna stay with your blacks,
yeah,
or vice versa. Um, because your green is my blue and your
yeah,
blue my green.
yeah,
So no, whatever I
yeah.
said.
No, it totally makes sense. Yeah, man.
And it made my life so much, again, easier, like in
Mm,
terms of
yeah,
understanding it. Like every person sees the world differently.
that's true.
And even the same word, they can see it
Yeah, yeah,
differently.
it's all a way of your perception. Never subjective reality. Just objective reality. It's just subjective to you. What's true to you.
And how much you put like the second sense into what you're saying.
Yeah,
Because I can tell you like the same phrase and you can feel
yeah, yeah,
that I'm saying like completely different things.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I'm happy, or I'm happy,
yeah,
I'm happy.
yeah,
So it's like I'm basically saying one thing,
yeah. But
but
means different.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for you or for any other person, I would say three same intonations
Mm,
and they still gonna perceive it differently.
that's true. Yeah,
And it's like that's just how the world is. And
yeah,
if it's something like really concerning to you or something that's pushing your boundaries in the way you don't like it,
mm,
you just need to voice it out and say like, sorry, that's like, we can do this or whatever, we can, but this is where it stops,
mm,
because that's, I'm not willing to go further.
mm,
And you need to, like, you really need to voice it out
yeah,
because of how different you perceive it,
yeah,
you might end up in the situation where you're not comfortable
yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of
definitely.
like,
Yeah,
you don't want to lose this person, but if you step outside now, it might end up
yeah,
breaking your relationship,
yeah.
whatever it is, friendship, really, like love interest, or just like work relationship.
That is really true. If you're
So
afraid to voice something that, because you're scared to potentially hurt the relationship, if you don't voice it out, it's gonna hurt it anyways because you haven't. It's still gonna be inside you. That unresolved feeling is still gonna be there. So if you like keep that in, it's gonna explode and then eventually like cause more harm. So it's better
yeah,
to just speak it out.
thing that I know but do not use yet because, like, again, I need to incorporate. And this one thing is probably I'm kind of afraid of or something,
Mm,
that if you, like, if you're afraid to ask because you might be rejected,
yeah,
you have to ask,
yeah,
because not asking means rejection. Like,
yeah,
if I, let's
definitely.
say I need money, and if I ask you and you say no to me,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get the money.
yeah,
But if I don't ask you,
yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna get
That's
any
true.
money.
Yeah.
But if I ask, there's like, even if it's just 1% chance that
Mm,
you will give it to me, it is there.
yeah.
So,
Mm,
and every situation have different possibilities. Maybe, like, let's say if I ask you for help and I think it's gonna be just 1%,
yeah.
but for you, it's something that you're really willing to do. For some, from your perspective, it's like 100% chance that you're
Yeah.
willing to help me. So it's like, just ask. For me, it's easier whenever I'm in business relationship, but whenever it's like friendship or love interest, it's super hard for me to
Yeah, because you don't want
use
to lose
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how where your potential like when you're really good at your work side, but the
Yeah.
potential love side is like your maybe yeah.
Unfortunately. Or not unfortunately, I'm not
Not
sure.
not unfortunate, but you're just more the reason why you're more reserved is like you don't want to be hurt, I guess, by saying because of being
Yeah.
rejected and not receiving it. That makes sense.
So I just hurt myself even more
That
by not
right,
asking.
right. You just gave yourself the answer. Yeah.
And it's so fun that like later on, years afterwards, I can speak with a person freely and like say, oh, you know, like I liked you or something, and like,
Yeah.
shit, I liked you too at that moment. Like,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Should have just said that in the first
But
place.
usually, if I didn't ask out or didn't voice out, I'm like, oh, it's a good thing I didn't, because it turns out like there are some major problems that could have been mine. So I'm like, okay, I think my person just gonna find me and they're gonna like
Yeah.
not force me open, but make me wanna do that.
I guess if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And then, yeah.
And then again, I feel so comfortable by myself that if it doesn't happen, I'm still happy.
That's good. Yeah. I think that's the best point when you potentially want to meet somebody. It's not because you're like really longing for someone. It's just you're just reserved and really well with yourself. Yeah. And then if potentially somebody appears that you can share something valuable, then it's good. It's not like you're obsessing over that one person. Just good as a whole. And then this other person, potentially he or she is like really well by themselves as well. So probably a better, healthier relationship.
I remember when I just started college, I was so into dating, just not because I needed that, but because everyone else were dating. I was like, yeah. Everybody's, like, who's gonna date me? You, like, and I did end up dating with a guy. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, I'm not sure I was ready for it. But it was an interesting experience. Yeah. But it was a good thing that when we started dating, he voiced the thing that, like, I'm leaving in 3 months and I'm leaving for good. Yeah. So I had this, like, limited time and it was good for me because if it doesn't work out, I don't need, like, break up with him and, like, hurt me or whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to get too invested anyways. But I'm going to be in a relationship. So mission accomplished.
That's very Korean style, actually, in a way, because Koreans... it's like a thing to be in a relationship. And then a little more or less, but it's like, yeah. People think it's weird if you're not in a relationship sometimes. They're like, why aren't you dating? Well, not the right person appeared yet, so that's why. But yeah. I think I'm more okay being by myself too. Less emotionally stirred, I would say. More emotionally balanced. But yeah. But sometimes I miss the drama, like just for the heck of it. Yeah, I think that's like my toxic side. I think I long the drama a little bit. One of the reasons why I potentially can't settle. Man, some like inner demons that I have to deal with.
No, I think whenever you settle, you're gonna get kids, and that's gonna be your drama, everyday drama.
That's
I would
right.
say.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's your new drama.
Yeah.
The second question is, am I ready for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
If you want that kind of a drama. Because that's different.
Yeah.
And like putting on a dress and a makeup and going shocking everybody is just another side of a drama. So
I mean, I guess we still have time to think about it. So yeah, not for me. Not yet, at least.
Settling down or kids? Or both?
Both. Settling down because I haven't found the right person.
Yeah.
Kids, I want kids, but I think I have to take care of myself better. But that would mean I would never be able to have kids because who knows when I'll be ready, Yeah. Just like something that's supposed to happen maybe. Just gotta go for it. But yeah. I guess step by step, meet the right person first and then think about the rest. So we'll see. But so far alone, not too bad. Not too bad, yeah. But we'll take a short break. I think we talked too much. Need like a little break and then we'll come back in a bit.